Yeah, sure thing. Uh, Jordan, I just wanted to know what are some of the lessons you learned from your freshman season that you're going to take into year two?
That's a good question. Just slowing down and playing my game and letting the game come to me. With this year, from last year, even though it's cut short, I've still learned a lot of things, like just the flow of the game, team chemistry, what passes I should make and what passes I shouldn't make. But overall, I feel like it's just been an experiment that has helped me like with everything. So
It's not gonna work.
can you hear me?
Go ahead, Gustavo.
Yes, we can hear you, Jordan. And how much anxiety it creates not having a defining schedule yet, not knowing when you guys going to play. And second question, but at least there's one game you guys know you guys going to play at home against UConn, a great program. How does it make you feel to face a big team like UConn?
I couldn't hear your first question. Could you repeat that one?
Yeah. I was going to ask how much anxiety it creates not having a set schedule yet.
This playing in the unknown is exciting, I guess, just not knowing what's going to happen. But we're preparing for whatever, that's what we got to do is just prepare for whatever's thrown at us. And you said the second question was
about playing versus UConn. At least this game is always confirmed.
Be ready for that game. I'm excited about that game. It's at home, it's at Tennessee. My family's going to be there. And our fans are going to be there no matter the number, even if it's no fans. I'm just excited to play them, get the opportunity to, try to get that win. But this is why we play, because those big games like that. So I'm excited.
Will Backus.
Yeah, hey, Jordan. Kelly Harper recently said that you were the strongest person on the team now. I was wondering what some things you did during the offseason to get stronger, and if you were feeling stronger now than you did last year and at this point during the offseason.
I wouldn't say I'm the strongest person on the team, but I am getting stronger, and I can give all credit to Ty, because he's been putting in a lot of work to try to get our bodies in the right shape, and we've just been doing what he has set for us, and I've just been eating right and training my body, and it's been working out for me. So I'm just going to continue to keep doing that and try to get stronger. But I wouldn't say I'm the strongest person on the team. Keyen got me beat. Keyen is strong.
Maria?
Jordan, since we haven't seen any of the new players on the court yet, can you tell us about three of the newcomers, Jordan Walker, Keyen Green, and Marta Suarez, because they're going to be on here later. What have you seen from the three of them so far, and how can they help you guys right away?
Well, Marta, as you know, that's my roommate, so we already had that connection. She's really funny off the court. Like, you'll never even guess. I mean, if you talk to her, you'll guess it. But she's really funny off the court, and she works so hard, and she's just dedicated and in the grind and really wanting to get better. That's what I've seen with her throughout, like, a couple weeks. Like, I remember the first day she got here, she was in the gym, like, trying to get better. So she works really hard. She communicates, and she's a positive body that we need. JoJo, she's crafty. She's real crafty. She's quick. She can lock down and defend. And like I said, she's another positive person that we added to the team. She's on the same page as we are. She can shoot the ball. Like, I just feel like getting her was definitely a great pickup for us. And Keyen, she has experience, and so does Jordan. I forgot to say that. They both have experience under their belt, so that's always a positive. Like I was talking to Eric today about Keyen, her energy is just so contagious. When she get out there, she works hard, she communicates, she encourages us, and it's really contagious, honestly. Everybody just wants to feed off of that. And I feel like that's something that we were missing from last season, was that energy consistently. And I feel like that's what they bring to the table.
One quick follow-up to that. Last March, all of a sudden, you were the only point guard on the roster. Then Jordan Walker decides to transfer in July. How relieved were you to see some help coming in at the point guard position? Because while you can play it well, you don't want to play it 40 minutes a game.
You're right. Like I said, JoJo, she a dog for real. Like she came in here ready, and I'm just so happy that they recruited her and they got her here because y'all don't understand how good she is, and she's really gonna surprise a lot of people. But I was gonna work hard regardless if it was another point guard or not. But I'm just happy that we got somebody that we both can get a break, and we both can hold our own. So that's a good thing too.
All right, we'll take a question from Kellyanne.
Hey, Jordan, a quick follow-up from Will's question actually about your added strength this season. With that, do you notice a difference in your game? And was that a goal coming into the season for you?
Do I notice a difference in it with my game? I haven't really noticed a difference yet, but I think that's just because I'm just playing how I usually play. But I mean, my coaches always make me aware that, oh yeah, you are getting strong, you are finishing better through contact and stuff. But I mean, I don't really notice it. I just go out there and play or whatever, try to do my best. But in your second question, I'm sorry.
Was that a goal coming into the season for you?
Oh, was that a goal coming into the season? I mean, that's always going to be a goal, is to, be better and stronger. I mean, I remember my freshman year, that's all I was talking about was, I want to get the biggest muscles and all this other stuff. But I mean, so that's always been a goal for me, is to get stronger so I can, produce on the court.
And a quick follow-up, what's the vibe of the team right now?
The vibe, like post player?
No, the vibe. Just how are you guys feeling right now?
Oh, what's the vibe? The
vibe.
The vibe is good. The vibe is really good. We've been doing things a lot more together as a team, building chemistry off the court, which I feel like is what makes better teams, is where you have relationships off the court. So we've been really working on that. Been going to coach's house. We had a talent show, and it was funny. It was fun. This just feels like a family environment this year, I could say.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any final questions for Jordan? Maria?
Jordan, you mentioned a talent show, wondering what your talent was. And I knew, Kelly said she knew you would want to go see her horses. But
Yeah.
did Cassie surprise you? And just a follow-up, how has Cassie gotten better this season? It looks like she really made a commitment to the strength and conditioning side of it.
Yeah, so Cassie is a character. Everybody knows that. So when I seen her little vlog, which I love her vlog anyway, but when I seen her vlog about the horses, it just had me in tears because it's Cassie. It's Cassie. That's Cassie for you. She sees something, she like it or she don't, she's gonna let you know. But she's been really vocal this year. I feel like off the court, she's been helping me like get my mind in the right position. And I could just tell that, it's her senior year and she's coming in with a bang. She's not settling for anything. She's making the post work. She's been making the post work and holding her own, and I'm just really proud of her. Like I see a big difference from this year.
All right, we'll take one final question from Kellyanne.
Also, just a quick follow-up to Maria's question. Jordan, who won the talent show?
Okay. So we would have won. My team it was me, Ray, Tamari, and Coach John, I think. Who else? I think it was just the four of us. Me, Ray, Tamari, Coach John. Cassie. Yeah, Cassie was in the group. All right, so we had like a whole skit. It wasn't a skit, but like it was like a whole pit together. Like we made a song, and it was really good. Like John even rapped, and if we would have remembered our words, I feel like we definitely would have took home first place. But unfortunately, we lost to, I think, Sully's team. I think it was Sully, Emily, Destiny, and Tess. I think Jesse might have been on that team too, but I can't remember. But yeah, they won. They had like put together a little skit, and it was cute. But I mean, we should have won.
All right, Jordan, thank you for joining us. We'll resume here in just a few minutes with Keyen Green.
All right.
Raise your hand if you'd like to ask a question of Keyen. All right, we'll start with Maria Cornelius.
Keyen, the last time I talked to you, you had just committed to Tennessee. You got here as quickly as you can. Just what are your impressions of the team this year? What is the team chemistry like, and how much are you looking forward to actually getting that uniform on and getting on the court?
Right. I love the girls. I feel like I came in and just fit right in. Didn't step on any toes when kind of assuming a leadership role in this team. I feel like we're all just family. Like we've known each other much longer than, these last couple months. And I'm super excited to get to play with them, just feeling the general vibe in practice and just how hard everybody's willing to go and compete for each other. That always makes for a great team. So I'm excited to get out there and compete with them.
Gustavo?
Obviously, you've been playing for Liberty in Athletic Sun Conference. What do you expect to be the difference between now playing in the SEC for Tennessee and also facing, for example, UConn, facing big games?
Right. Well, that was actually one of my reasons for leaving the mid-major level is just I wanted a bigger challenge. So I think that's what it's going to be. I think the SEC is going to be more of a challenge for me. Games like UConn, they're a challenge for everybody. So, but that's what I was seeking when I came here. So,
Maria?
Keyen, your recruitment was unusual in that you could not visit and you could not meet the coaches. When you got here, how nice was it to actually meet your coaches, see them in person, and sort of begin that relationship as a coach player?
Right. I'd had conversations with them and Zoom calls with them. So I felt like I kind of knew them pretty well already, but definitely, meeting somebody is different. But I think I was lucky in this case and a lot of players aren't in this position that the coaches were the same people when I met them that they were over the phone. That doesn't happen too often. A lot of coaches are just selling a dream, but these coaches were the same. They've been the same. They've been very consistent.
Are there additional questions for Keyen? Maria?
Keyen, what do you see your role for this team as this season? Kelly, obviously she brought you in for maturity, leadership, and all of your teammates have been saying, and Kelly, that you provide that. What else will you provide for this team? What do you see your role as?
Well, I see my role as just that. I think I'm a leader really no matter what room I'm in. I feel like I just kind of assume that position, not in a narcissistic way, but just because that's the way that I am. But I think that will be my role in this team, just to continue to encourage and lead with my experience, lead vocally, lead by example, just really trying to get everybody going in the same direction and on the same page.
David?
Since joining the team, what is it about the Lady Vols culture that has really stood out to you since coming to Rocky Top?
I think just the family aspect. I don't really know what I thought it would be, but I've heard that at a lot of high major SEC, just Power 5 schools, that it's the biggest difference from mid-major to high majors that Power 5 is like more of a business. But I feel like I have the same family feel here that I did at the mid-major level. So that it makes it easier to compete when you love the people that are standing next to you.
Any additional questions for Keyen? Maria?
Keyen, do you see your role as strictly in the paint, or do you expect to have an expanded role at Tennessee, given your ability to run in transition and get out on the perimeter too?
Yeah, I think initially I came in expecting my role to solely be in the post, but through workouts, through practices of getting reps at both the 4 and the 5, I think that's more what's expected of me. And that's what I'm going to step up and do.
One quick follow-up. You're obviously not the only grad transfer now. Jordan Walker was a late addition. Just what has she brought to the team, and how nice is it to have sort of someone who also was coming in as a graduate transfer, just to sort of help each other?
Definitely. Yeah, no, it's been super nice to have JoJo here, just because we're on the same page. We both have not been here. We both came from more of a mid-major level. And I think the biggest thing that we can kind of relate about is that just kind of the gratefulness of being here, because we've seen what our schools had, and we see, you know, just how much more Tennessee has to offer us. And I think that comes out in how we play. We play hard because we know that this level is going to be more difficult than what we came from. You know, we play hard because we love our teammates. We know what it is to lead a team and what a team needs to succeed. So it's been great to just have somebody else with that kind of experience.
Any further questions for Keyen? Okay, Keyen, thank you for joining us today. We'll have Jordan Walker here with us shortly. By Jordan Walker. Questions for Jordan, please. Maria?
Jordan, I asked the same question of Keyen. She was already a graduate transfer, and then you arrived in early August. What is it like to have two of you that are both going through the same experience? And a second part of that, how can you help this team right away? Because when you come in as a grad transfer, they're looking for you to help immediately.
Well, thank you for that question, and thank you everybody for being on here. But to answer that, I guess to go along with Keyen being a grad transfer with me, it's been an amazing experience thus far, especially with having Keyen here, because she's able to relate to me, you know, when we're going through things or when we're on the sideline and we're going over a new defense, we're able to talk about it and, you know, kind of contrast and compare things that we've been through at our old schools to here. And it's just also good just to have somebody to lean on when we're going through the same things, basically.
All right, we'll take a question from Gustavo.
Jordan, what do you expect the difference going to be? You played in the Mid-American Conference, now you're going to play in the SEC, also face, for example, UConn. What do you expect to be the difference playing for Tennessee, playing for, I think, much harder teams? What do you expect this difference going to be?
You know, I think that the biggest difference is going to be, you know, the size, speed, and strength of guards. You know, I will credit the Mid-American Conference. We did have, you know, some great teams and great players in that conference, but I just feel like the size, you know, the speed and the strength is going to be one of the biggest things. And I've seen that, you know, here in practice, playing against, you know, some of the guards on our team, like Ree and Ray, you know, their size, Jordy, as well as, you know, down in the post, you have those bigger post players. So, you know, changing some things, altering some things, but I think that it's going to be a great challenge and it's going to help set me up for the next level.
Additional questions for Jordan? Will?
Yeah, Jordan, Kelly Harper mentioned that you'd be one of two players obviously running the point for Tennessee. I guess when you're talking specifically about point guard, what have been some of the challenges trying to adjust for an SEC schedule and a schedule in which you play teams like UConn and maybe some other strong teams like that?
Honestly, the biggest adjustment was, I think, initially just switching from playing that 2 spot to going, you know, back to the 1. I've played 1 my whole life until I got to college, and then that's when I started playing the 2 position. So just making that switch. But I feel like with this team and, you know, with the things that we do, it hasn't been, you know, too challenging to make that adjustment. And I feel like the coaches have helped me, you know, pointed out things that I can do better, and, you know, they're constantly pushing me to be the best player. So I feel like, you know, going up against those bigger opponents like UConn and such, I think that I'll be ready for that.
Maria?
Jordan, as an athlete, there's been a lot of uncertainty this entire offseason about what the regular season would look like, if it would be played. How excited are y'all to have you're going to play this season. We're still waiting on a schedule, but how excited are y'all that the season is going forward, and how hard was all the uncertainty of waiting?
Yes, I'm extremely excited that, we're going to be going forward and playing this season. It's been a long, off season, being in quarantine and, everything like that. Just like, we've been in quarantine, well, at one point everybody was in quarantine. So that's what I'm speaking on. But just making that transition of being back on the court, that was one big piece and one huge piece of excitement, as well as now, really getting into the season and being able to, see it and feel it, how close it is. So.
Will Backus.
You mentioned that you played the point your whole life until switching to the two in college. I guess trying to switch back to that position, has it been kind of like riding a bike where it becomes natural after a little while, or I guess how quick has that adjustment been for you?
Yes, I definitely feel like it's kind of like riding a bike. Once you do something like that, you're not gonna forget it. I feel like the transition has, been pretty easy to get back to that, because I feel like at the two spot, that's what, helped me with my success, was being able to also play the one and play multiple positions on the floor. So making this transition back, it's been just like you said, like riding a bike.
All right, we'll go to Carolyn Peck for our final question.
Hi, Jordan. In talking about going from the two to the one, what's the biggest between those two positions for?
I'm sorry, you said the biggest difference between the two positions? It broke up a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. What's the biggest difference for you going from the two to the one?
The biggest difference, honestly, I wouldn't say that there's a ton. I feel like it's a little bit of a different mindset with the one and the two. The one, you get your teammates going. The two, most of the time you put your head down, you score, you get to the basket. But I feel like with, my teammates that I have now, it's been a super easy transition, because I have confidence in them, that they can score and go make a play, but they also have confidence in me, to go score and make a play. So I feel like that's been, one of the things that's helped me make this transition.
All right, Jordan, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Suarez, Maria, we'll let you start out with the question for Marta.
Marta, just can you talk a little bit about finally getting to Tennessee, how the wait for you, how hard that was over the summer, and what do you see your role as a player for Tennessee this season as?
Hi, how are you? First of all, the few months I've been here in Tennessee has been way better than I could ever imagine. I've been basketball-wise and studies, and my teammates they have been great. So it's been a really good 3 months. And about my role in the team, I am really excited about the season. Of course, as a freshman, I don't expect to have such a big role in the team right away. My biggest thing right now is to be a plus as much as I can, never a minus, and not just on the court but off the court. I think on the court I can use my size and abilities as a player to help the team, but I think off the court I have a big a big role in the way of trying to keep the team positive and competing and giving our best.
One quick follow-up. You had to wait to get here, and then you had to go straight to a hotel room for quarantine. How hard was it that you're new in this country, your first time to the United States, and all of a sudden you also have to sit alone in a hotel room while you wait to be able to even meet your teammates?
Yeah. Well, it got to a point that we thought that I wasn't even gonna be able to be here until December. So it was great news when they told me I could be able to come here in August. But yeah, once I got here, the first 2 weeks, I was stuck in a whole room, which I'm a really active person, so it was a little bit difficult, but I still could be able to do Zoom calls with the team. I started to get to know all of them, because since the time difference wasn't that big, staying here, of course, I had more time to get to know them. So somehow it kind of helped me to get in before actually getting in, to get to know all of them. And then right after going out, it's true that it was a little bit difficult to first adjust to the schedule, because it's obviously the time it's different in Spain. Like we have different times to eat, different sleeping times, get to the culture, I think. But thanks to, of course, my roommates and the coaches were always there to make sure that I was doing good, that I was eating, that I was sleeping right. So everything was easier, kind of that way.
All right, we'll take a question from Gustavo.
Buenas tardes, Marta. What do you see the difference between playing in European basketball level versus playing in the SEC level? Have you been watching SEC women's basketball? What do you expect to be the difference between SEC basketball and European basketball in terms of, the difference for you?
Buenas tardes. I think there's a lot of differences, but it's not as much as I thought. The game here focuses way more on the one-on-one players, while in Europe we focus more on plays with screens, pick and rolls, etc. Obviously, the bodies are different here. There's way more contact here, I guess, than in Spain. In Europe, our game tries to avoid contact more, but basically at the end of the day, it's still basketball. And every team has its own different plays, its own different motion. So it's not that big of a difference, I guess. It's the physical point of view that it's like the biggest difference between here and Europe.
Additional questions for Marta? Maria?
Marshall, when you finally got to meet the coaches, previously you had to be recruited entirely by Zoom. How did that meeting go, and how have you gotten to know them now as people, and has that made the transition a little bit easier?
Well, my recruiting process was a little bit interesting since I didn't get to visit or anything with any school. So, of course, first of all, I was looking for a school with good basketball and good studies. But when I commit to a school, I commit for the 4 years. I'm never planning on changing schools or anything. So I realized that the most important thing for me, it's choosing the right people, because I'm going to stay here for 4 years and those people are going to be my family. And since the first Zoom call I had with them, they gave me this family feeling, the team feeling that I thought it was right for me. And even though I had been talking to schools for way longer, I thought Tennessee was the right fit. And until this day, I still believe that was the right choice.
Right, Will Backus.
Like Maria mentioned, your whole recruiting process was over Zoom, and pretty much everything you saw from campus was likely through pictures and Zoom. I guess, what were you able to learn through that recruiting process, and have anything surprised you since arriving in person?
During the recruiting process, obviously they showed me pictures of the facilities. They explained me more or less how a day in the life for a student athlete in Tennessee goes. I talked to people from the academic side of it. I talked to some teammates. Jessie, the player from Australia, was really helpful. She was there for me to answer any questions that I could have. And then when I got here, I knew they had told me that Tennessee was a big school, but the culture in Spain, I didn't know that much about it. And when I got here, since I announced my commitment, I think the fan base and the love people have for University of Tennessee has been like the biggest discovery of all. Like I could never have imagined that there was so many people supporting the program, so many people supporting the team, supporting us, and myself personally. Even they haven't seen me play yet, there's people there supporting me every day through social media, and I think that's amazing.
That's kind of a follow-up. You're just the fourth international player at UT, and all 4 of those players have been here in just the past few years. I guess, what does it mean to kind of be at the forefront of that new trend of players from overseas coming to play here?
It was a little bit scary at the beginning, because obviously there's more programs around the US that have more of an international culture. But I guess it was a challenge. And I've never yet felt like I was like an international, like I was any different from any teammates. Obviously, Jesse has done a great job helping me with everything I needed, but I've never had the feeling that I didn't belong here. Or I was like an international while the other ones were from here. So it hasn't been, at the beginning it was a little bit scary. I have to admit that how are they gonna see me as? But since I got here, that hasn't been any problem at all.
Maria?
Marta, Tennessee announced today that there would be about 4,000 fans allowed at a home game. That's a small crowd by Tennessee standards, a very small crowd, but you will have fans there. How excited are y'all that there will be people in the arena, and how ready are you to put on that uniform and play your first game?
I mean, just the fact that people consider 4,000 people as a small crowd, for me, it's crazy. Like, I've been playing from 5 to 20 people of a crowd my whole life. So I think it's going to be a crazy experience. I can't wait. I don't think the crowd, like, obviously it's a sad news that we don't have all the fans that we would love to have here. But I'm sorry. But if that's what we have to do to be able to keep playing and keep giving the fans the games, that's what we will be doing. I am really excited about it. I'm not scared about it. I don't think it's gonna pull me back. The fact of having so many fans there, I'm just excited to see them, to meet them, and for them to see me play.
Any final questions for Marta? Okay, Marta, thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good day.